How did a rookie quarterback light up the field, shake the entire fan base, and still end up on the trade block before the season even started? Shedeur Sanders came out swinging, sharp, smart, and in total command during his very first NFL preseason appearance. Fans were on their feet. Analysts were already saying he looked like the future. But behind the scenes, a much different story was starting to unfold. Because while the world was watching a star in the making, Cleveland's coaching staff was already plotting something else entirely. A quiet war was brewing in the locker room, one that had nothing to do with performance and everything to do with power. And just days later, the unthinkable happened. Shedeur Sanders reportedly demanded a trade? Why would a team dismiss the one player who lit up their entire offense in less than 4 quarters? What's going on behind those closed doors in Cleveland? Let me take you inside a story the NFL isn't ready to talk about. From the very first snap, Shedeur Sanders looked like he belonged. Not just on the field, but at the center of the franchise. Cool under pressure, precise with every throw, and showing the pocket awareness of a seasoned veteran. He didn't look like a rookie. He looked like a problem for every defense in the league. 3 quarters. That's all it took. He moved the offense with ease, made plays with 3rd and 4th string receivers, and turned what was supposed to be a quiet preseason outing into the most talked about performance of the week. Fans instantly flooded social media, calling him special, the answer, and even better than the starter. NFL analysts took notice too, with some openly questioning why Shedeur wasn't already getting reps with the ones. The hype wasn't just noise, it was momentum. And in most organizations, that kind of spark, it's nurtured. But in Cleveland, it was like the ignition button scared them. Because as the buzz built, the organization's response wasn't excitement, it was silence, and then skepticism. Instead of celebrating a breakout debut, they started pulling back. And that's when things turned cold, where most coaches would be hyping a rookie who just delivered a highlight-packed preseason debut. Kevin Stefanski stood at the podium, stone-faced. Instead of praising Shedeur's command or pointing out his poise under pressure, Stefanski shifted straight to what needs work. A quick, half-hearted line about making plays, then back to generic coach speak, like a lot to teach from. No fire, no passion, no belief. It didn't sit right with fans or analysts. Why downplay your brightest moment of the game? Why ignore the fact that Shedeur had done more with backups than the starters had done in months? Shannon Sharpe didn't hold back, blasting the Browns for focusing on what he can't do instead of what he just proved he can. Even casual fans could see it. Stefanski wasn't embracing Shedeur. He was placing distance. That's not just poor leadership, that's politics. When a rookie overperforms and the head coach shrinks the moment down, it raises real questions. Was Shedeur's success not their plan? Was this about keeping a lid on someone they never expected to shine? Whatever the reason, one thing was clear: support from the coaching staff, nowhere to be found. Behind the scenes, cracks were already starting to form, and they had nothing to do with missed reads or bad throws. According to multiple insiders, there's growing tension between Shedeur Sanders and the Browns coaching staff. Whispers coming out of the locker room suggest Stefanski and parts of the front office weren't fully aligned on bringing Shedeur in to begin with. And once he started outperforming expectations, the division only got wider. There's been talk. Some say Stefanski never wanted him, period. Others believe this was an ownership-level move pushed by Jimmy Haslam, while Stefanski quietly planned for a different direction at quarterback. Whatever the truth is, one thing seems certain: Shedeur didn't walk into a team that was ready to invest in him. He walked into a power struggle. And that kind of friction, it doesn't stay private for long. From reduced reps in practice to vague post-game comments and unexplained decisions in camp, it's starting to feel like Shedeur's being squeezed into a role that was never built for him. A young QB hungry to lead, blocked by a coach who may have never wanted to hand him the keys in the first place. And soon, that tug of war would come to a head. At first, it looked like a typical coaching decision. Rookie QB needs more time. Learn the playbook, earn the reps. But now, it's starting to feel like much more than football. This isn't just about development. It's about control. Sources close to the situation claim Shedeur Sanders was never Kevin Stefanski's guy. He wasn't handpicked by GM Andrew Berry either. The buzz around the league says his arrival came from above, straight from team owner Jimmy Haslam. And in the NFL, when a player is dropped into a system by ownership, not leadership, you can feel the tension from a mile away. Suddenly, every move Stefanski makes looks strategic. Limiting reps, downplaying success, focusing on flaws in front of the media. If this wasn't personal at first, it's starting to feel personal now. To Shedeur, this isn't just a battle for a roster spot. It's a mismatch of agendas, his future stuck between a coach trying to protect his system and an owner trying to shake things up. If you're a young quarterback with this much promise, how long do you wait for people to get on the same page? Apparently, not very long, because that's when the trade rumors exploded. When the news broke that Shedeur Sanders had reportedly requested a trade, the NFL world was stunned, but only for a second. Because once the shock wore off, the reaction flipped. Respect. This wasn't a tantrum, it was a statement. A young quarterback who knows his value, saw the writing on the wall, and refused to let his career be buried under indecision and ego. Shedeur made it clear, he's not just here to sit behind politics, he's here to compete. He's proven, even in limited action, that he can lead an offense, produce under pressure, and uplift the players around him. And rather than stay in a system built to suppress him, he's choosing to bet on himself. The timing says everything. He didn't request a trade after a string of bad performances. He did it after showing out. That's not retreat, that's confidence. He gave Cleveland a glimpse of the future, and they blinked. Now, he's letting the rest of the league know, if they're not ready to build around him, someone else will be. The only question left is, where does he go next? And that's when a familiar team came calling. It didn't take long. The moment whispers of Shedeur's trade request hit the internet, the quarterback-needy teams started lining up, and one name stood out immediately: the Los Angeles Rams. With Matthew Stafford dealing with a bad back and backup options already banged up, the Rams are in dangerous territory heading into the season. And what they don't want is to limp into Week 1 unsure who's under center. Shedeur? He's young, mobile, and just proved he can control the tempo without even working with first-string talent. Reports say Los Angeles has already made calls. And it's not just out of desperation, it's strategic. Sean McVay is known for developing quarterbacks who think fast, move smart, and can extend plays. That's exactly what Shedeur brings. And the Rams may be one of the only franchises bold enough to hand a young QB the keys right now. Plus, let's not ignore the marketability. Shedeur Sanders in LA? That's box office style, swagger, and pure star power. It would be a move that shakes up the league instantly. And if he balls out in SoFi Stadium the way he did in preseason, Cleveland won't just lose a player. They'll lose a star they never truly gave a chance. If the Browns let Shedeur Sanders walk, they won't just be losing a promising young quarterback. They'll be handing the rest of the league a gift they didn't value. Think about it. How often does a team draft a QB with charisma, composure, and talent, and raw talent, then push him aside before he gets real reps with the starters? This isn't a fifth-year vet struggling to win games. This is a rookie who stole the spotlight in limited minutes with third-string receivers and still managed to shift the entire fan narrative in one night. You don't just gamble away that kind of potential out of stubbornness. Letting him go would signal to fans and players that politics mean more than performance, that talent can be buried if it doesn't fit the coach's personal blueprint. And that's not just bad optics, That's a recipe for infernal chaos. Because if a guy like Shedeur, who delivers when it matters, can't even earn a fair shot, who can? This isn't just Cleveland giving up on a quarterback. This could be Cleveland creating their next franchise regret. And once he's gone, there's no getting that spark back. Shedeur Sanders walked into the NFL with a point to prove, and in just one preseason outing, he showed the world that he's not waiting for permission to lead. But instead of handing him momentum, the Cleveland Browns hit the brakes. Now, a player with franchise-changing potential is teetering on the edge of walking away. But because he succeeded too quickly for the system to adjust, is it player development or pride? Is this a coaching call or a clash of control? What we're witnessing isn't just an off-season headline, it's a turning point. For Sanders, for the Browns, and for every team watching from the distance, wondering what they could do with a shot at this rising star. Because if the Browns let him go and he thrives somewhere else, this chapter will haunt Cleveland fans for years.